So, welcome. We're Cruising Highway Tomorrow podcast with Bert Cruz and
Wayan Gede I Artha.
exactly. And we are right now in Batuan. And let me ask you something real quickly. So, I understand, tell me if I'm wrong, that Batu Bulan
Uh-huh.
refers to a moonstone
Right,
that fell in that area. And
right.
a piece of it broke off here, and Batuan basically means a piece of the moonstone.
All right.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
Awesome. That's beautiful. That's wonderful. So we met probably 3 years ago, and you were involved in getting a water system for your community. It would be the first water system that would deliver fresh water to the tap. Right now, everybody in Bali drinks bottled water, hotels, resorts. A few people have filters, few small communities of 4 or 5 houses, but generally Balinese communities don't have fresh drinking water.
Right,
So this was pretty much the first one.
right.
So let's talk about the beginning. Who came up with the idea? How did that happen?
Well, this is a good idea to talk about these projects, I think. But anyway, before I let you know about these projects, uh, thanks for having me in this podcast.
Thank
This
you.
is very nice. Well, first time the idea of these projects came from me,
Uh-huh.
and then after the idea came, we talked with the head of the village in Batuan. When I was invited by the head of the village, asking about the village potential,
Potential.
potential. I let him know that there is a big potential about water systems here in my village.
Okay.
There is a good water springs that we can drink directly without having any process. We can just drink directly.
You knew about the spring already.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. When I delivered this message to the head of the village, um, the head of my village called Perbekal. My Perbekal is Ari Anggara. And then Ari Anggara was very interested in processing this water to be the water that we will have in Batuan to be delivered to the family.
And Ariangara is the essentially the mayor of Ganyar. Right?
The mayor, yeah,
Yeah.
The mayor of Gianyar worked together with the head of the village in Batuan.
Okay.
So they work closely together in order to get these projects. However, this project actually comes from our central government in Jakarta because this is a great project how to help the villagers in order to have a good water
Okay.
to drink.
Okay. And this was back in 2020, 2021?
Right. It's about 2020. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So during the middle of the pandemic, you decided to hatch
Yeah. Right.
this crazy plot
Right.
to get water. Yeah.
I think so. That was really hard time for all of the peoples. I think.
Yeah.
Hard time for me. Hard time for all of the peoples, and then we have to start this program because our central government in Jakarta asked us here in order to execute this program because this is really a great program.
So who was it Jakarta that kind of, because I know you told me that you had to raise money here in the community, you had to raise money from Ariangara.
Right.
Did you have to raise money from Bali governor also?
About the money, this is like a shareholder.
Okay.
All of us involved here, especially the villagers. The villagers involved, our governments in Jakarta also involved, and the sub districts, which is conducted by Ari Anggara, also involved about the money. So
Okay.
many people involved in this.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, so hatched the project, and then I assume you had probably just like every other government in the world, you had to submit a ton of paperwork.
Mm.
How long did all of that take before you felt confident that this project was going to really happen and move forward?
Mm. Well, it takes us about 4 months in order to get an approvals from the central governments of our governments in
That's quick.
Jakarta. Yeah,
That's
it
quick.
takes
Yeah.
us about 4 months.
Uh-huh.
Actually, there were two approved programs about the water,
Okay.
but it is not for Batuan village. That was my struggle with Ariangara in order to have these programs. The approvals came to another village,
Okay.
and then we want to have these programs for Batuan villagers.
Okay.
That's why our struggle was really, really hard at the times with
Okay.
Ariangara in order to get these programs. And then we went to Gianyar Regency, talked to the mayor of Gianyar, and then talked to another department in order to get these programs. And then we were successfully get these programs, and then we have to submit proposals, many paperwork that we have to do
Sure.
at that time
Sure.
in order to have these programs.
And so was the other village, did they also get approved, or did they approve your village and not the other village?
Yeah, there were two other villages approved at that time,
Okay.
but the money that had been prepared by the governments only for two.
Okay.
And then one of the villages that has been approved by the governments was cancelled, and then Batuan was executed to be having these
Awesome.
programs.
That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
that's fantastic, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in these early stages, what was it literally getting a crew together and finally breaking ground on digging dirt? Was that like when you knew it was really happening, or was it when money started coming in? I mean, when did how quickly did you go from getting approval to putting a shovel in the ground?
Hmm. Well,
I mean, I know it was during the pandemic, and we've joked before about how you probably wouldn't have been able to get as many volunteers as you got if the pandemic hadn't been happening, because everybody was out of work.
yeah. I understand about that. After we had the approvals from the governments, um, we had to work together with all of the villagers, with the head of the Batuan village, and then with the mayor of Gianyar, how we have to execute these programs. Before we have the money, we have to do something first. That's not the problems actually, because we didn't have a lot of works at that time because of pandemics.
Okay.
Yeah, so we just do something, and then we show to the governments that we have done something in order to um, make the governments give us the money.
Okay.
Yeah, we have to do something first, and then the governments give the money.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's your coffee, and here's my coffee. Cheers, man. It's a pleasure to
Cheers.
be with you
Yeah.
again. It's always a pleasure to come down here. Wayan and I met, God, I guess right after I got to Bali in 2020, and he helped me with my Indonesian language learning, and it just developed into a friendship where we would get together, drink coffee, and
That's right.
then this water project started, and it was really exciting. I remember when you started building the water tower. How did you assemble a crew for the water tower?
How
did you get volunteers?
volunteers.
Did you just
Well-
knock on doors and tell people they were going to have to do work, basically?
It was not hard, I think, because a lot of things that we we did at the times is by working hard with our physical,
Uh-huh.
with our physics. Um, we can do something without money at first because uh, we need to dig the grounds in order to put the pipes. That's all we did with the villagers.
Okay.
Yeah, without having money at all.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
that's
you're
free.
talking about the pipes that
Yeah.
go to all the houses?
Right.
Oh, so that was one of the first
Yeah.
things you did was put in the pipe
Yeah,
to the
that's
house?
the first thing that
Before the water tower or anything?
right.
Okay.
And the
Interesting.
first thing after the money came from the governments, we built the tower.
Okay.
Yeah, we need money for that to buy iron, to buy anything.
Concrete, everything,
We
yeah.
need money for that, but we don't need money yet to dig the grounds in order to make the pipe comes to the families.
I think that was an amazing to be here and watch that. I think it was an amazing, really proud moment for everybody who was working on that because there was this physical piece of concrete going up that was
Right.
going to be a water tower.
Right.
That's you'll see pictures later. It's beautiful. You painted it. You know, it was really quite
Yeah.
it was a work of art.
Oh,
You know, I mean, it was really beautiful.
yeah.
And I think people probably became more committed the further along you got. Because I
Yeah.
know in the beginning you had some scheduling issues
Yeah.
getting people to show up.
Mm.
And then it just seemed like suddenly there were plenty of guys around here all the time to help out.
Mm.
So the water tower itself, how long did that take to build?
To build the water tower, it takes us about 1 month.
1 month.
1 month for the water tower.
Okay.
We work all together with the villagers.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when the water tower was built, you didn't yet have a pipe that would deliver water from the spring to the water tower.
Yeah.
But you had pipes going from the water tower to the houses,
Mm.
correct?
Yeah.
That's awesome. And how many houses in the village were going to be serviced?
For the first time when the program starts, it covers about 60.
60.
Yeah, 60 families.
60 families.
Yeah,
Wow.
60 families. It was due to the fact that our head of Batuan village very good at making lobby to our governments, and then we got the second help from the governments.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, after having the second helps,
Second half.
second half,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
we could cover about 250 right now.
Right now.
250 families, right?
Have you already started laying the pipes to those other houses, other
Yeah.
families?
Yeah,
Okay. So they're ready to get their water.
yeah.
Are they? But they're not getting water yet.
They got the water.
They are getting water. So the project that's been done up till now is servicing 250 families.
Right.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really amazing. You must be really proud of your village.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, no, that's really amazing.
Yeah, I hope that there will be another helps from the governments for the future because many people still need this kind
Sure.
of water because the water is really good and then the people can drink it directly without
Sure.
having any process.
The spring that you've tapped into, do you know what the volume is? How many liters per minute or whatever that it's able to put out?
Yeah, actually it could covers about 500. No, sorry, 5,000 families.
Okay.
Yeah, it could cover about 5,000 families.
But I mean, do you know how much water is coming out every
Um,
minute from the spring?
Last time it was checked by a friend of mine. I forget it, but in their predictions, it could cover 5,000 families.
5,000 families. That's a lot of water. And this is water going just to the tap. It's not being used for, sewage or toilets or I assume it comes to their kitchen sink mainly.
Well, it could be used for anything.
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 That's wonderful.
Yeah,
Okay.
for anything. Like at my house, I use it for anything.
Everything.
Yeah, everything.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And now, is the village on a sewer system or individual septic systems per house?
Individual.
Individual septics. Okay, that's interesting.
This program actually have a purpose of helping other peoples.
Uh-huh.
This is a great programs from our governments actually, and however, these programs in my village has become a role model
A role
for the
model.
other village how to
Sure.
organize good water for the villagers.
Right.
Yeah, our community organized these projects
Uh-huh.
for individuals help
Okay.
in order to help the villagers in the village, because before we have these programs, uh, many people still buy water.
Right.
Buy water. There is a company who deals with this
Sure.
water, and then we pay a lot.
Right.
After we
Right.
have these programs, we don't need to pay.
Pay for water, yeah.
Yeah. Even in my village, the people will get free for 10 cubic meters.
Wow.
Get free for 10 cubic meters, and the landlord, well, the water springs comes, totally free.
Okay.
Totally free. The other villagers in my village that get 10 cubic meters free.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great. So
So you get at your place, your house, you get water. There's no limit to how much you can get, or are you limited by 10 cubic meters also?
yeah, 10 cubic meter is free. If we use more than 10 cubic meters, we need to pay.
We have to pay.
Yeah,
Okay.
we have to pay.
That's
But I
all.
never paid it.
Right.
Yeah, I never use more than 10 cubic meters
And that's in 1 month?
in 1 month. Right.
That's amazing. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
that's
fantastic.
easy, I think. Yeah.
Right. Right.
It makes us a lot easier than before.
What in the construction project, when you had all these volunteers together, did you have any? I don't think you had any major accidents. I don't think anybody really got hurt, did you?
No, we don't have.
Yeah, you didn't have any.
We don't have it.
Didn't any. What was as far as the construction itself? What was one of the difficulties that you encountered, or something that you hadn't foreseen that happened that maybe delayed or caused you to have to like sit down and really talk with everybody to figure out how to solve this problem?
Yeah. I didn't have such difficult problems anyway. I just found it difficult to organize the people at that
Uh-huh.
time, because
Sure.
some people have problems about financial.
Right. It's pandemic.
Yeah, because for the peoples that we asked to work to dig the ground,
Uh-huh.
we didn't pay.
Right.
Yeah, we didn't pay
It's
the
all
people.
volunteers.
Yeah, volunteers.
How many volunteers altogether did you have? Did you say?
35.
35.
35 in this village.
Uh-huh.
We were only 35 villagers in this village.
Wow.
We work all together. Some of them had problems, so we work only 15 or 20.
Uh-huh.
That's the problems.
I mean, people must have been excited to be.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, because it was a dirty job.
Right.
It was, you know.
Right.
I mean, it was down there in the mud, you know, especially doing the spring, putting in that
Yeah.
spring over there. That was a really dirty job,
Yeah,
and that was hard work.
we didn't think about dirty or clean jobs.
Right.
We just did
Did it.
any things that we can do.
Right.
Yeah, we just did any things that we can did at the time, because there was nothing to do
Right.
due to the pandemic
Right.
of it at that time. Yeah.
So from the time you put the shovel in the ground to lay the first pipe until you got water at the tap,
Mm.
how long did that take?
It took me about 6 until 8 months.
6 or 8 months.
6
That's
until
really
8 months.
fast.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. That's
Yeah.
just amazing. Yeah. And have you had any complaints at all? Anybody not happy or?
I don't think so. There was no complaint. Many people,
The water's too drinkable. Yeah. I
Right.
don't like drinking water that easy.
many peoples were happy, because that was actually the purpose of our governments to execute these programs
Right.
to make many people's happy, to make all of the people's happy.
Right.
The landlord who has the lands where the water springs were happy. The villagers were happy. Our sub-district governments were also happy, and then the regency. So everyone was happy.
Yeah, yeah.
Everyone was happy.
So I know that it's, I mean, I, was lucky enough to be here only recording some video and helping you with social media, which was a minor contribution, but it was wonderful to watch it all happening. And I knew then that this would end up being a role model for other water projects. Are there other villages you've heard about that are maybe going to be following in your footsteps and copying what you did?
Yeah, not only in Bali. This project has become a role model in Jakarta.
Really?
In Jakarta, yeah.
Awesome.
Our governments in Jakarta always promote this. This is the best projects for water systems.
Awesome.
Yeah. I don't know. Anytimes I see meetings about water projects, Pamsimas Batuan always be the role model of this projects. Yeah.
Wow.
Because to execute this project by volunteers.
Right.
Yeah, we didn't get any money to dig the grounds. Yeah.
Can I ask you, how much did you have to raise here in the village?
To raise?
Did you have to raise money in the village? Didn't people have to?
The villagers.
Yeah.
From the villagers. At that times, there is no mass how much money.
Okay.
For those who have enough money, they can make donations.
Okay.
In order to support these programs. There is no mass for that.
Okay.
But however, our Desa Adat is still the part of the sub districts here.
Right.
Have to prepare some money for that. Only 15 million from the Desa Adat.
That was all.
15 million.
That's
Yeah.
great.
15 million from the Desa Adat.
15.
15.
Lima Blas.
14 million from the Desa Adat.
40?
No.
14.
14.
14.
Yeah.
Okay.
14. And then it was about 35 millions from Ariangara, from the head of the village,
Okay.
from the sub district.
Okay.
35, 14.
Okay.
And then the rest is from our central government in Jakarta.
Okay.
Yeah, we still need a lot of money if we
Sure.
would like to develop these projects, because many people still need it.
Right.
But I know that our government is a little bit hard now about money, so we cannot propose a proposal
Right.
for that.
So you're not starting from scratch for phase 2. With the other houses. You just have to submit more paperwork and more.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're starting over again. Are you mainly dealing on a local level with the same authorities, the same people, the government?
Yeah.
Arian Gara is still mayor, isn't he?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Still mayor. We had a plans to develop these projects in order to cover about 500 families in our next projects. Now it has been covered about 250. We still have another targets to reach 500 families in our next project. So we need more money for that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. In getting to know you, I know that you have a small class where you teach kids English. You teach kids Japanese. I come sit down and sometimes help out with the kids with the English. It's really remarkable. It's literally all ages, from elementary to high school. And I have seen them progress in their English learning and been so impressed with what you do down here. How does the water project rank for you among your achievements? I mean, is this number one?
Uh,
Would you say this is one of the, this is,
um,
you're
both.
so humble about this. That's what
Yeah, yeah.
amazes me. It's like, I'm just I'm overwhelmed by what you've done,
Right, right.
you know?
Um, both of these projects runs all together. The water projects had to be executed at that times, and then I had another activities to be an English teacher in a community here. Uh, I have to do that all
Uh-huh.
together. Both must be running all together.
Right.
Yeah. Um, the first thing that I have to execute was the water project because I was the head of the community here. I must be responsible for that. That was the first thing that I have to be successful. And then the community of learning English, that was another programs that I have to be able to execute also
Uh-huh.
because it was my way to help other people's. At the time, the student did not go to school. They had no activities, just sitting around and having playing phone.
Yeah.
I was worried about that.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
I called them and sit all together. Why didn't we do something that is important for our life? That's why I taught them English and Japanese. My cousin did it. Both went all together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I remember coming down here during the pandemic and on the little community pavilion,
Yeah.
kids were just sitting there
Yeah, right.
playing with their phone,
you
wasting
know that. Yeah.
wasting their life away. And it
Right.
was just like, I felt like we needed to do something to engage them and get them,
Yeah.
moving again. It was so interesting. So, okay, being very hopeful and optimistic,
Hmm.
how what do you see happening next? How soon would you hope this would proceed in an ideal world?
Which one? About
Well, being realistic, of course. I mean, the water project.
the water project.
Yeah.
The cost, you mean?
No, not the cost. I mean, let's just say, we know that, let's just assume that Jakarta will approve the money at some point.
Oh,
Let's just assume that would happen. How quickly, once that happens, can you start moving forward on this phase two
I see.
of supplying the other 5,000 homes on the other side of Batuan?
Well, in order to have help from the governments, especially about the money, there is regulations that we have to follow. If we want to have the money next year,
Uh-huh.
we have to submit the proposals this year.
Sure, of course.
Yeah, that's the.
Yeah. Your
Um,
government's no different than mine.
I think
They're all the same, aren't they?
Ariangara said that he has made the plan for that.
Okay.
I hope that he has submit the proposals this year
Okay.
in order to have
The money for next year.
next year.
Oh, that'd be
I
awesome.
hope, yeah.
That would be awesome. And if that money comes in, how long do you think it'll take to get 5,000 more families water?
5,000 will be hard, I think.
Yeah.
In order to achieve the 500 goals first, it will take about 1 year, another
Okay.
1 year, another 1 year. Yeah, because if we want to achieve the goal of 5,000 families, we need to build another tower.
Right.
Yeah, we need to build another tower.
Just
in the
one.
other village. Yeah, just one
Just
more
one.
tower.
Well, that would be bigger than this one?
I think so.
Okay.
It will be bigger than this in order to cover 5,000.
Right.
Yeah.
So between here and kind of the other part of Batuan, you basically go down the road and there's the Batuan temple.
Mm.
And then the main part of the village is on the other side,
Yeah.
correct? Okay. So
Yeah.
that's where you're trying to bring water to.
Yeah, that's why we need to build another tower
Right.
around there. Yeah.
Wow. Well, Wayan, I think it's been incredible. And it was great to watch it happen and great to be here,
Yeah.
And I wish you the best of luck. And I think
Mm.
we'll make it happen one way or the other.
I'm also great to be having in this podcast, so I can tell the other people about the situations of how we did the water projects in my village.
Yeah.
This
Okay.
is a great project, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Well, thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome.
You've been cruising the Highway Tomorrow podcast. Thank you for tuning in.
Highway tomorrow.